CFOs to Go started 35 years ago with two people doing financial consulting and talent search. And as we grew, our clients grew, we grew along with them. Now we have 27 partners who are experts in a wide array of industries. My world, for example, is construction and real estate. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the things that we're seeing from our clients, but it's going to have a little bit of a accounting bent to it, which is what are historically where we've come from as accounting advisors. We're way more than that now, but just bear with me while I kind of explain to you what we're seeing from our clients. It bears out across the board. Everyone has had some damage to their financial statements, whether it's lower sales, increased operating expenses, decreased margins, key financial ratios that are upside down, loss of key employees and institutional knowledge, which is, I think, something that he's going to talk about a little bit later. All of this sounds really terrible, and it kind of is, but it's manageable. It's manageable if you know what to do. And one of the key things to do is to build your relationships. Hopefully you've done that before the crisis, but you can even do it during the crisis. For example, banks know that in most cases your financial stress isn't due to mismanagement, thank God. And they want to collaborate with you to find out solutions to keep you going. They know that you're their bread and butter, you're their client, so they want to help you. But they need information on what's happening inside your company and what your plans are. So the complexity arises when you're trying to manage strategy and growth the way you always have. And for most of you, it's probably worked well, but now you have this extra layer of complexity, on top of which there's single points of failure inside your accounting group. That's because of shifts in personnel. Different jobs have been assigned to different people because of absenteeism and sickness. And this all slows down your reporting and promotes errors. And these are two things that you have to avoid at all costs. You can't be producing reports that are wrong or late. So how do you fix this? Well, that's what we do. Sometimes all it takes is just us to be on board with you. The client or the bank see that and they're happy that we're on board and they know that you're in good hands with us. But what we actually do is help. It's not rocket science. It kind of makes perfect sense. We help tune up your financial statements with candid accuracy and transparency. We don't try to bury stuff. It's all out in front of everybody. We help you present your company to your bank truthfully, but in the best light possible. And we provide expert talent when and where you need it. The right people at the right place at the right time, from part-time bookkeepers to full-time CFOs and everything in between. Jody, my colleague, who is our Director of Recruiting Operations, is going to share her insight on this key facet of our business. Jody?
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that introduction. And I thank the people of Trinet. So yes, we are a client of Trinet and have been for over 15 years, and it's been a great relationship, not only as an employee of the To Go Advisory Group, but also as a great referral source to our clients. We service a number of early stage to middle market clients that find great value in Trinet. And so thank you to Trinet. And as an employee, thank you, Trinet. Part of my job, actually my job is to support our partners on finding talent. Our consulting partners often need additional help in bookkeeping or accounting, and we can provide those services for them. Oftentimes our clients will need interim staffing because of some unforeseen event happening or some happy event happening. So perhaps somebody's out on maternity leave. We're able to staff interim solutions. And then on direct hire, we are very active. Actually, you'd be surprised how busy we are right now with direct hire opportunities. So I think that this pandemic has been a challenge for many companies. It's also been a time where companies have had to sadly let employees go. and they're finding that at the end of the year, they're needing to spruce up or add talent as it comes to planning and budgeting. And so I'm talking more about the finance and accounting piece. Sorry about that, Brian. You can talk about more on your revenue side. But right now, a lot of the positions that we are filling are on finance and accounting, and that they are, as I say, direct hire. But we also have a back office outsourced accounting group that can support our companies. This week, I brought in a client. Actually, I brought in 2 clients this week to our outsourced accounting group because we can manage that relationship, that accounting relationship, and we have oversight over those accountants so that they're helping the client in manipulating month-end reports, cleaning up some work that has lagged behind. One of my clients has some problems right now with a 401k reporting for Q3. And so that's where we've been able to step in. So we like to think of ourselves as flexible and being able to provide and fill any need on finance and accounting, and now on HR as well as operations, information technology, and revenues, so the sales side of the thing, so of business. And that's where the CXOs comes in. It's we're working at a high level, senior executive officers, and the talent group supports that. So thank you once again for this. And Brian, you can educate everybody on how important your piece is to the business and moving forward, especially at times like this.
All right. Thanks, Jody. All right. So you can see that my logo got the purple color. So I'm going to add a little color and context to this and kind of tie this all in together. All right. So why the to-go group? Well, I can tell you from based on experience that when working with a client, it's usually not just one issue. So really, it's our clients that came to us and said, look, we've got issues, we've got problems beyond just finance. Who do you know that can help us? Which led to the offering of course, CIOs to go on the information technology, CHROs, which Jody just talked about from an operations and production standpoint. We've got COOs to go, and on the revenue on the marketing side and the sales side, you've got CROs to go. So again, this is all driven by client need. And so I'll give you an example. So currently one of my partners, Peter Gray, who is responsible for the practice group COOs to go, and I are working with one of our CFOs to go partner, Chris Burns, on a capital raise and restructure of a consumer products group. Well, why are 3 of us working together? Well, again, it's not just one issue. So in order to help this client revitalize their company, redo the capitalization structure, and then take it one step further and go to market, it requires 3 experts, not just finance, not just operations, but also marketing and sales. So as you can see, there's a collaborative effort internally for us to service the client. And then once we get that ship, right-sided up and sailing, then we circle back and go to Jody and her team and say, look, we're the Navy SEALs. We're the temporary group. We need somebody there that's going to be long-term, who's going to run the ship, drive the ship for the long haul. Who can we bring in at an executive level? And that's when we rely on someone like Jody or our internal recruiting staff to fill those positions. So hopefully that's painted kind of a broad picture on how we offer a synergy value to our clients.
Thanks,
oh,
Brian.
and so since I've got the soapbox, CROs to go. Well, why CROs? Again, marketing, sales, customer success. And really the position of CRO came from the tech industry about, let's say, 5 to 10 years ago. And for those of us who are marketing and sales, we've always seen these silos between marketing and sales. Some sort of egoic structure. Marketing's claiming this, sales is claiming this, and the poor customer service team is like, will you guys just get along so we can make good on the customer? So somebody came up with the wise idea. Let's put it one person accountable for all of it, chief revenue officer. And that's what I do, and that's what my team does.
Thanks. Thanks. So Brian, are you done?
Yeah, back to you, Jody.
Okay, thank you. And so we'd like to take this opportunity to engage with you all and learn from you about some of the changes that you see coming and some of the concerns you all have. Are there any questions for us or of Trinet? Because Trinet, I learned all kinds of things from Trinet today. I'm really interested about the marketplace.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I know that we're very excited about the changes that are.
Jeff, I think Jeff had something, but Jeff's muted. Jeff, muted.
Unmute. There we go. How's that?
There we go.
I just had a question on the hiring practices with how it interfaces with the 2GO group and Trinet. Is there somebody that looks at the background and runs a criminal background, runs a how do you investigate the prospective employees that you're going to recommend to us?
We do, as a recruiter, we do background checks and criminal checks as well. We have a couple of resources that we have to help us on that. We also do our own reference checking, and we also, I would say, do a little bit of backdoor checking on candidates as to how we came to know them, who they've worked with. And so oftentimes, especially in finance and accounting, we'll go back and check with some of the bankers they may have worked with, because our organization has been around for quite a long time. So we'll check with the outside CPAs and the bankers to find out, what the communication style was with that client or with that candidate. Does that help answer that question?
Yes, that was good. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one, and there's a lot of scrutiny that needs to be done there. Thank you. Thanks for that question.
Jody, I have a question for you. When you're doing recruiting right now, what are you seeing as most important to candidates? Because I know there's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace.
Yes. Yes. I would say evaluating the cultural fit and the openness and the communication during the interviewing process. And so in some of the positions that I'm working with right now, I think that as a recruiter, understanding the cultural fit for, number one, for what the client is looking for, and then understanding what the real needs are from the candidate, that's where the matching comes in. But it is very difficult to get people to move right now if they're not confident of the opportunity ahead of them. So oftentimes I believe that's where recruiting can come in and solve a lot of that problem, because as a recruiter, you have to get to know the client and interview the people that the candidates are going to be working with and really get a feel for what is the attraction, what's kept people there. So oftentimes if you see a company that's flipping employees through, there's something going on there. And those are the kind of pieces of information that as a recruiter, you need to be aware of. And make sure that your candidates are aware of whatever is going on. So we walk a fine line, because we need to make sure that both that there are no surprises on the candidate side or on the client side. And so it has to be open communication. And there are times when it's a bad situation, and then a recruiter needs to evaluate whether or not it makes sense to get involved in that. Does that help?
I like that answer, because we have applicant tracking tools, and we can help cruise the internet and all the job posting sites and find the candidates that seem just perfect on paper, but I mean, a lot of people can either hire someone to write a resume or have help writing that resume. So it oftentimes takes a trained recruiter to get to the depth of it and see if they truly are the right candidate for the position. So I think that's a great partnership.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would say that I've been doing this for a long time, and it is about conversation and probing, always probing. And so, yes, always probing. That's part of the job of a recruiter. So you can't
Always
take things
probe.
on face value. So.
Absolutely. We probably just have time for one more question because I know we were trying to keep it close to the 30-minute mark. All right, I have one more question. Brian, I think you are our financial, right?
No, I'm revenue, marketing and sales and customer service.
Oh, okay.
I've got a bachelor's
Okay.
degree in finance, but I know enough to be dangerous. So I think you should probably give that question over to Bill.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask
Okay,
this
I'll
question.
handle it if I can.
Whoever is best suited can answer it. So would you say if you're spending marketing dollars right now promoting your business, what's the return businesses are getting back? Because I know that, things are tight and businesses have tuned back on the marketing. But I mean, what is your plug on it? Should businesses be marketing or what should they be doing?
They have to market always.
Always. That is the last thing that you should be cutting. I know, sorry, I got to jump on this bandwagon because it's something I'm very passionate about. But again, marketing is the last thing that you should cut your budget on. And the reason why is this too shall pass. And the market forgets quickly who you are and the value that you bring. Customers will forget you. So again, when this too shall pass, now is the time to be marketing. Now is the time to be investing in that outreach, whether it's directly through sales or through social media and so forth. You can trim it back a little bit, but don't ever cut back to the point where you're going to regret it later.
So here's another reason, because of, like I was talking about earlier, all of the things that are piling on top of you that makes the job of running the company more complex. Is banks now used to be satisfied with balance sheet and income statement, every quarter. Now they want way more than that. One of the things that they're asking for is, where are you getting your business from? How are you going to fix your slump in revenue? How are you going to fix your slump in backlog? What are you doing? Tell us where you're getting your leads and how you're converting your leads into clients. And you didn't used to have to tell anybody that. You needed to know it internally to run your company, but you didn't have to disclose it. Now you do.
Good point.
Great point.
Good answer. Yeah.
Well, I think we have some key points for this. We've kind of been in the whole, there's a pandemic, batten down the hatches, stay safe, make sure that everyone is taking care of themselves. But with that, it's so important to take care of your business and to continue that marketing and to continue to recruit top talent. From our guest speakers or from Vicki, does anyone else have any closing statements?
Jess, I do have something, with this whole COVID thing. I remember I heard a statement that made perfect sense, and you can tie this into your business, into your marketing. Social distancing doesn't mean relational distancing. A 6 foot separation does not mean you stop talking to your family, you stop talking to your friends, you stop talking to your customers. So don't ever forget that. Social distancing is not relational distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
That's a great point.
Actually, it's too bad that you have to explain that.
It's human nature. And a quick story. My daughter and I do jujitsu, and I literally was sitting there talking to a man who had a mask on. I had a mask on, and I said, "Hey, man, what's your name?" Took off his mask. We know each other from the gym and from church. I'm sitting there talking to a man I've known for years for 10 minutes, and I didn't recognize him because he had his mask on. It's human nature.
Yeah.
Remember, stay connected.
Good point. And I think with that, we are at 3:32. So we'll thank you all for your time. And I'm going to stop the recording now.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Vicki.